listeners. There are two ladies listening to us right now who have sent a message that they never miss us. And so, to you, Angela Awia and Claudia Coleman, these are two lawyers, and they are great fans of this. And it happens to be Angela's birthday today, so happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Angela.
Then, I am in the middle of writing my next play for our quarter three. Many people assume that I have a whole bookshelf filled with scripts, and at the beginning of every quarter, I just walk to the shelf and pick one up. Nothing can be further from the truth. And so this morning, I want to invite you into my world as a playwright. All people see of my work is the production at the National Theatre itself. They see the carefully produced, finished work. They will be shocked at what goes into not just the production, but into the writing of the play that becomes the basis of the production itself. The opening day of a quarter's production is always very traumatic and very, exciting for me. I have committed my life to giving Ghanaians something to be proud of always. I want a Ghanaian to invite an expatriate friend to my show and hear that expatriate say, "This is the best production I have ever seen anywhere." That is my commitment, to let the world respect the creativity of Ghanaians. And so that puts a lot of pressure on me. So, on the opening day of a production, I go through a checklist to satisfy myself that we have done everything we can to give our patrons a great time. And then, even though inwardly I am anxious and eager to know how patrons will receive the play, I do my best to project an air of confidence and calmness. And I need to do that because my staff and my cast and all those engaged in the production take their cue as to how to feel from me. Whatever emotion I project will be caught by the rest, and they will go overboard and project that emotion to a much higher degree. And so, no matter what bad news or mishap may come up, I remain outwardly cool. Two things help me to remain cool, and they are captured in one of my favorite sayings, and that goes like this: work as if everything depends on work, and pray as if everything depends on prayer. Everyone who has ever worked with me as a cast member for a production has ended the quarter having lost weight because of the amount of hard work we put into the production. And when I know that we have done our utmost best, it helps me keep calm. If we don't get it right, it will not be for want of trying, neither will it be due to negligence or shouldiveness. But working hard is only one source of my calmness. The other source is my faith in God that undergirds the amount of prayer I put in for every production. And when I know I have prayed for the production, I leave the outcome to God, and so I don't worry so much. I know that God will come through for us. And this is something a lot of people may find surprising. For me, my work is an exercise of faith. I walk by faith that God, who has given us the strength to work as hard as we have, will not let us fail. And so far, God has come through for us every time. Has everything always worked according to plan? No. Has everything always worked perfectly? No. Every now and then, we struggle with some technical aspects of the production, but I don't let these discourage me, even though every incident of this hits me very hard. Instead, I push myself and my crew harder to find solutions. And if you ask anyone who has worked with me on a production, they will tell you that working with me is very difficult. And this is because I demand that everyone working with me stays on their toes every minute of the production, and everyone brings their A game to the production. And I do this not for me, not for myself, but for the patrons. At my productions, I have only one passion and only one concern, and that is to satisfy the patrons. And whenever we have not been able to do that, I am left devastated, sometimes for days. So you can understand that at the end of each production, I am emotionally spent. But I still hold it all in till I get home. And it is only then that I give myself permission to feel the full force of the stress and the pain that is if something had gone wrong. The person who sees that side of Ebo White is my wife and the rest of my household. But she has found ways of coping with that. She gives me the space to deal with it alone till the next morning when she would engage me. By then, I would have recovered considerably. Now, when the curtain goes up on a production on the first day, a thought always comes to torment me. It says, well, this production is done. You have to start thinking of the next one. And when the play is well received by patrons, another thought comes to torment me. And that one says, I bet you cannot match the success of this production. The first thought is easier to deal with. To that thought, I just say the next play may be due, but I am not going to think or worry about it today. Today, I'm going to celebrate the fact that I get the privilege of serving all these wonderful people who have trusted me with their time and with their money. And I'm going to enjoy what my cast, my crew, and I have been able to create. And with that, I push that thought out to focus on the show. But the second thought is more difficult to deal with. That thought says, you cannot do better than this. And that thought stays with me for a long time. I push it away and it comes back. And the more the patrons enjoy and applaud the current show, the stronger that thought becomes. And then it becomes a wrestling match between me and the thought. I know that if I let that thought persist, I will not be able to create anything new. It will make me so unsure of myself that I may give up. And so, I do battle with that thought, and it is often a very difficult battle. But victory always comes over this thought. Victory comes when I remind myself of all the wonderful plays of the past. Victory comes when I remind myself that my work is about God and not about me. When I remind myself that I depend wholly on God, I find the strength to believe that I can do far more and go far higher than what I have already done. And that is why when I am asked which of your plays is your favorite, I always answer with, my next play is my favorite. People think I'm being evasive when I give that answer, but I'm wrestling with that thought that says you cannot do better. And because of that thought, I refuse to fall in love with anything I have already done. I stay focused on what is ahead of me. And winning that victory over that nagging thought of self-doubt is crucial, because without confidence, no one can create at his or her best. Now, whilst all this is going on, to the world, I have to project an air of confidence. That I believe is what a leader is supposed to do. A leader must know that his people are looking to him for their cue as to how to feel. And it is only a poor leader who allows his people to feel defeat or a sense of hopelessness. In what I do, I'm a leader. And so empowering my people to feel that our next show will be our greatest and our best is my duty, and at the same time, my salvation. Because in giving them that hope, I give myself the strength to return to my study, to start work on the next play. Now Dan, in the next episode, I will now take you into my study and share with you what goes on in the privacy of my study. That is what no one sees, but I'm going to share it with you. So until I come your way again, stay blessed.
Thank you very much, Uncle Ebo. And there's a similarity I find between you and John Maxwell. He mentioned that his favorite book is always the book he's writing now.
Now, the one he's working on. If you're creative, if you are, what should I call it, a working writer,
okay,
you can't afford to fall in love with anything you've already done, because then you can't go on. It will create a block, a creative block for you, and you cannot also allow yourself to be intimidated by anything you've done. And trust me, your own work can intimidate you.
Your own work can intimidate you. I think I know the feeling. Sometimes the show you've done in the past.
That's right. And then you wonder, can I beat this?
Can I beat what I did?
Can I do this? Especially when people send you texts and they comment and talk about what a wonderful day they have. And it feels good for a moment.
Yes.
So you remember, I have to do this all over.
Tomorrow, I've done
and
nothing.
Then suddenly you have to battle with self-doubt. Would we be able to do it? And you need to get that out of the way before you can do it. And I refuse to fall in love with the past. I'm mindful of it because it gives me the confidence. But I refuse to be intimidated by it. And trust me, your price can intimidate you.
Thank you so much, Uncle Ebo.
Especially if it's successful.
Especially if it's successful. True food for thought this morning, bringing us to 5 minutes at the top of the hour. This is the Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7 FM. So like we said earlier, we're going to take you through the PDS saga once again. What we'll be pointing you to is the proof to some of the allegations we've heard in the past few weeks. Yes, those letters which had allegedly forged signatures are here. Those demand guarantees and whether or not they are valid. The documents are here. And we'll be asking you the question after we've gone through all the evidence. Do you think this company should continue to manage the power that comes into your home? You can answer that for me after you've heard all the information. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Welcome to